So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Lebron Era rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Chicago Bulls. The 2010-2011 season in Chicago was unbelievably special. Derrick Rose won the MVP award. He was the youngest MVP in NBA history. This team won 62 games. They were the 1 seed in the East, then ultimately ran into a buzzsaw in the Eastern Conference Finals with LeBron and the Miami Heat. But this always brings me back. It's one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. If Derrick Rose could have just stayed healthy, could this team have possibly won 1, 2, 3 championships? Obviously, we're unfortunately never going to find out. My goal today is to hopefully get them that championship. The Chicago Bulls were by far the most requested team. That's why we are here doing them today. Again, I understand this isn't necessarily a bad team that needs a rebuild, but I am a man of the people, and the people wanted to see a Bulls rebuild, so that's what you're going to get. Let me know which team you want me to do next down below in the comment section. Of course, we have many, many teams to do. We've only done the Lakers and the Celtics outside of the Bulls here. And yeah, so open to whatever it is you guys want to see. Let me hear it down below in the comment section, along with any other rebuild challenges, series ideas, whatever it may be you guys got for me. So excited for this one today, man. MVP Derrick Rose. Grew up on him, man. It was my childhood. I was, 10, 11 years old and really just learned to love basketball. So let's get into it. As always, we find ourselves here at the beginning of the 2010-2011 NBA season. Of course, I'm sure many of you are very nostalgic about this era. I know I certainly am. And our goal today, as I mentioned, is to get this Bulls team a championship, which obviously they never did with this era. So let's go ahead. Let's go over this roster a little bit. I will say the good news is the majority of the players that were actually on this team in real life are here. I always go ahead and check to see if there's any notable names missing, and 2K did a pretty good job with this Bulls team. So, starting out here at the point guard spot, obviously Derrick Rose. He's 22 years old right now. In real life, this was his MVP season, youngest MVP in league history, and I'm going to build around him today. I'm going to build around him. There is no doubt about that in my mind. He was such a special player during this time, man, and it all came crashing down, and sucks. It really just does. So, yeah, there's not much else to say about him. He's a complete superstar. He's going to be the face of this franchise for the entire video. Behind him, we have a 26-year-old CJ Watson. I definitely don't hate this as a backup point guard option. He's only 26. I don't know how much more that overall will go up, but it's a pretty solid option, and I like the contract quite a bit. This, of course, is not a real person. We head to the shooting guard spot. 2 interesting options here. Kyle Korver's 29 at this point. Obviously a sharpshooter that can be either in the starting lineup, coming off the bench as a 6th, 7th man, something like that. I think eventually I'd like to maybe find a little bit of an upgrade, but Kyle Korver is definitely not a bad option here for year one. Then we have a 30-year-old Keith Bogans behind him. Is an expiring contract at the end of the year. We'll keep an eye on that, but again, not a terrible backup kind of depth piece for this team, if you will. Now, the small forward spot. Luol Deng's 25 here. He is on a multi-year deal. He's an 82 overall. I'm not, again, sure how much higher that overall is going to get, but again, a really, really solid option. Obviously, a stud defensive player, and I think he's going to be a really, really important piece for this team for the entire video. You got Ronnie Brewer here, who's 25 years old, and then you got a 23-year-old James Johnson here, so some pretty okay depth here at this small forward spot. We go to the power forward position here with Carlos Boozer, who is one of the better power forwards in the league at this time. He's 28 years old, 5 years, $80 million contract, so he can be here the whole time if we want him to be. Again, I have no plans of moving off him at this point. Hopefully he can kind of continue that high level of play. We got a 25-year-old Taj Gibson, who does not look 25 in that picture, but nonetheless, he's going to be a nice role player for this team. Probably not going to ever really be too much more than that. We have Kurt Thomas here, who's 38. Probably not longed for this team or really for this league as a whole, but he's here for now. And then the GOAT, the White Mamba himself, Mr. Brian Scalabrine. Oh, the GOAT. All right, and then finally the center spot with Joakim Noah, another just absolute stud defensive player. He's never going to give us, 20 and 10, but he ultimately does a lot of things really well, outside of shooting free throws. But he's 25 right now. He's going to be, again, likely my center for the entire video. And a 24-year-old Omer Ashik behind him at the center spot. So that's the team. It's an incredibly talented roster. I don't think anybody was trying to deny that. It's unfortunate that they ran into a buzzsaw with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh in the Miami Heat. But I think this team is pretty good. That kind of goes without being said. I do think there's 1 or 2 moves we can make. Going to upgrade this squad. To be completely honest with you, I'm not really sure how I like this trade, but we are going to make it. We're sending Keith Bogans and Kurt Thomas over to Detroit. In return, we're getting ourselves a 36-year-old Ben Wallace. Now, he is on a multi-year deal. I think there's certainly a possibility he retires after this one season, but he's a nice little upgrade at our backup center spot behind Joakim Noah. Ben Wallace at this point in his career is obviously an NBA champion. He's on the older side. He's probably not going to play a ton of minutes, but I think, again, a veteran presence who's experienced and is a winner would definitely be a big addition to this team. So Bogans and Thomas ultimately didn't have to be moved. Thomas was never going to be in the rotation anyways, but for 2 pretty much, not useless players, but players that were not going to be long-term fits. I'd rather have a shorter one-year fit with a guy like Ben Wallace than either of these two players. So that's our first trade. And then I certainly promise I'll try to stop trading for him because I have already gotten him a few times in these videos, but Sasha Vujacic seems like he's a very easy player to trade for whatever reason. I think it's because the Lakers have 3 shooting guards and he's actually the lowest of the overalls, but Omer Asik was just really not needed here anymore after the Ben Wallace deal. These aren't even real players, and obviously getting Vujacic in return, who's only 26 at this point, is going to be a nice little upgrade off this bench unit. So I'm excited about this deal. I think it's a really big move for us here, and I think that's going to be it as we head into year number 1. First season here for us in Chicago. We are ready to go. We made a few moves, and I think this team is as good as it was ever going to be here for the first season. Now, Derrick Rose, Kyle Korver, Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, and Joakim Noah is a very elite 1 through 5. There were no major upgrades made here in this starting 5. And my one hope right now is that we're good enough to deal with the big 3 over there in Miami. Bench unit will be led by Ronnie Brewer. You got Taj Gibson behind him, CJ Watson, new addition with Ben Wallace, and Sasha Vujacic. So this team's good. There's no denying that. I think we'll easily be a top 3 seed in the West. And when time gets tough in the playoffs, I really hope we're good enough. So I'll see you guys at the end of the first season. As I suspected would be the case, we had a really solid year 1 here in Chicago. We go 69-13. Nice. Now, Derrick Rose, unfortunately, does not win the MVP award. As he did in real life, it was LeBron James. His first year in Miami, he averaged 28.3 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8.5 assists. It's a pretty deserving MVP season. DeMarcus Cousins, your Rookie of the Year in Sacramento. You got Milo Ginobili, 6th Man of the Year off the bench. Dwight Howard, your DPOY. Drew Holiday wins Most Improved, and Tibbs does win Coach of the Year for us. So, you know what, man? Is it possible that this team gets a championship in year 1? Let's go ahead and find out together. Here's a look at the standings. 14 games up on the 2-seeded Miami Heat, and here's a look over here at the 63-win Nuggets winning the Western Conference in the regular season. And here's a look at some of the numbers. Derrick Rose was absolutely incredible. 26.5 points a game, about 4 boards, almost 10 assists a game as well, which is just insane. Luol Deng ended up being our second leading scorer. You got Carlos Boozer, Kyle Korver, Joakim Noah. You got Watson, Vujacic, Gibson, Brewer, and then Wallace. Led in rebounds by Noah, led in assists by Derrick Rose. Okay, it is the Atlanta Hawks here in round 1. Jeff Teague, Joe Johnson, Josh Smith, Al Horford, Eaton Thomas. You got Jamal Crawford, Mike Bibby there as well. That team had a lot of buckets, man. A lot of walking buckets. Okay, round 1. We do drop game 1 on our home floor. We've now won 3 straight. We end up winning the series in 5. A little gentleman's sweep, if you will. Now we're moving on to Indiana. Paul George is not quite, prime Paul George yet or anything. They have some nice veterans here with Danny Granger. Ooh, I got Mike Dunleavy, Corey Maggette. A lot of fun names here. I think we're obviously the better team. I don't really doubt that whatsoever. Up 3-0, we sweep. And now, what everybody was probably expecting, it's going to be us, the Miami Heat here. Over in the West, it's going to be the Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs. It is Mario Chalmers. You got D. Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Joel Anthony. You got Haslam here, James Jones, Mike Miller. They're a good team. There's absolutely no denying that. I think that we are better, overall, but they obviously have the best player in the series. There's not really much question about that one. We're up 3-1, though, and we win the series in 5. And we are going to the finals here in year 1 to take on the San Antonio Spurs. Tony Parker, Garrett Temple in here. Richard Jefferson, Tim Duncan at this point is 35, but he's still just an absolute monster. Tiago Splitter, Manu Ginobili, Matt Bonner, Tony McDyess. Can we get this done here in year 1? I think we can. We're up 2-0. Oh my God. No way. It's a championship here in year 1. Obviously something the Bulls are never actually able to do throughout this era. And Derrick Rose would be the youngest finals MVP in history. Oh, actually, it was Magic Johnson younger because he won it as a rookie. Actually, I don't really know. Nonetheless, we win the championship in year 1, which is great. Unbelievably awesome. Antonio Daniels ends up calling it a career. I had no idea he was even on this team. Does not appear that Ben Wallace did, though. Okay, that is interesting. Cool. Historic changes, fine. Draft lottery, of course, we're not going to be in here. I actually didn't even check if we had our first round pick this year. So, do we? We do. It's at number 30. Staff signing. Tibbs obviously is not going to be going anywhere. Those ratings certainly could be a bit better, but he just led us to a championship. He's definitely not going to be getting fired. So, this is the 2011 draft. This is Kyrie Irving. This is Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler. A lot of really talented players here. We're definitely not going to be getting any of those guys, but if I could maybe just move my second round pick, because it's just certainly not really needed at the moment, that's cool. I'll draft somebody at 30. Not sure if they're going to play. Not sure how good they'll actually end up being, but Davis Bertans, welcome to Chicago. I don't really know. He's going to be a 72. It's not bad for the 30th overall pick. Now, Rose, Gibson, both certainly being brought back. I will bring back James Johnson as well. Qualifying Joakim Noah is going to hit restricted free agency. And he's obviously somebody I need to, pay some money to. It looks like the Rockets and the Cavaliers both interested in paying him. I'm just going to go out and give him 14 annually. He comes back. All right, we are unfortunately going to let Scal go. I wouldn't mind retaining Vujacic. I just don't think we're going to have the money or the bird rights to do so. So, oh, well, I guess I actually could. But I could also just go out and get somebody better. Like, maybe I bring in OJ Mayo, who at one point was really good. I'd actually be pretty cool with that. Cool. Welcome to the team, OJ Mayo. A little upgrade there at the shooting guard spot. All right, we're going to make some trades. Oh, okay. We pulled off a big deal with Toronto. We just made a major upgrade in our starting five. That would be the addition of DeMar DeRozan. We send out Kyle Korver, Ben Wallace, Davis Bertans, who of course we just drafted, James Johnson, and 2 future first-round draft picks. But getting DeRozan, even though he isn't, the prime version of DeRozan, is a significant upgrade with this team. Now, he's only 21. I expect that overall to continue to go up, but a really, really major addition next to Derrick Rose in this backcourt, and one that I'm super, super excited about. So, at this point, we do just need to find ourselves a new backup center. Options are probably not going to be great. Yeah, these are terrible. All right, we're actually going to go a little cheesy with it. I'm going to re-sign Vujacic, and then I'm going to immediately trade him. Again, not a realistic rebuild. You can hate me for it if you want to, but I need to find a backup center, and Vujacic is going to be dealt out with somebody named Bojan Kramer, and please just give me a center. Doesn't need to be a superstar, just somebody, mid-70 overalls. I'd be completely cool with it. Okay, we're getting off. Okay, Zaza Pachulia. Totally fine by me. I will see you guys at the start of year 2. As we head into our second season, we are now looking to defend our title. I don't know if it was a surprise championship in year 1. This team was obviously incredible throughout the first regular season. I just kind of thought we were going to run out of gas as soon as we ran into the Miami Heat, but that of course didn't happen, and we won a championship in year 1. Now looking to defend it. The starting 5 remains exactly the same except our shooting guard spot. Derrick Rose now joined beside DeMar DeRozan at our shooting guard spot. Still got Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, Joakim Noah rounding it out. Bench unit will now be led by OJ Mayo. We got Ronnie Brewer in here, Taj Gibson, CJ Watson, and Zaza Pachulia. So we're obviously really good. There's no denying that. I think this team will definitely be in the mix for not only the top seed, but a championship once again at the end of year number 2. It's a year late, but we finally got the MVP award for Derrick Rose. He not only won the MVP, he led this team to a historically good season, the best ever, 74-8. Absolutely insane. I really don't have many other words to say. Let's just go win another championship. Kyrie Irving went to Sacramento. He's your rookie of the year. You got Baron Davis coming off the bench in Los Angeles as your 6th man. You got Timmy D winning DPOY, James Harden most improved, and Thibs 2nd straight coach of the year. So we're obviously going to be in the mix. We're probably the favorite to win it all, and I don't really know how else. Oh my God, Miami's a 5 seed? Wow. Maybe I do need to do that Heat rebuild a little sooner than I was expecting. All right, let's talk about some of the stats here real quick. It's going to be Derrick Rose once again leading the charge for this team. He's still only 23 years old, which is insane. Luol Deng, DeMar DeRozan looks like a very nice addition into this starting 5. Carlos Boozer, OJ Mayo, Joakim Noah, Gibson, Brewer, Watson, and Pachulia. Led in rebounds by Noah, led in assists by Derrick Rose, who averaged a double-double. Us the Charlotte Bobcats here in round 1. Okay, well, I mean, just thanks for coming out, I guess. We went in 5. Now we're moving on to Miami, who I did not really expect or want to see as a semifinal matchup, maybe Eastern Conference Finals, but yeah, this is going to be, I don't imagine very easy, but maybe, what the fuck is happening here? We lost more games to the Bobcats than we did to the Miami Heat. Good Lord. All right, and it is the Orlando Magic, led by Dwight Howard here in the Eastern Conference Finals for us. This team, once again, really, really talented. I just think we are better. I don't really think there's much denying that, and whoops. Well, we are in the finals, and we lost 1 game so far. Taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a team that you've all seen before. They are incredibly talented. They are also very young, but there are 3 MVPs here, even if none of them have technically won an MVP award yet. Back-to-back, I'd like to do it. We're up 2-0 at the moment. They do win Game 3. We win Game 4, and I don't think we've had a series where it's gone more than 5 yet, which is so crazy, it's not even funny. We end up going back-to-back, and at this point, there's not really much else to say. We're clearly looking for a 3-peat. So, Ben Wallace did end up retiring. We're not going to have a draft pick this year. It was in the DeMar DeRozan trade, which, again, it's totally fine. There's not really a real reason to have a pick. We have the majority of this depth already here, so I'm just confirm we don't have any other picks, and then we'll go from there. So, we actually have the first overall pick in round 2. Might as well draft somebody. I don't know. Just want to see if there's anybody real here, like Aaron Baines. Sure, welcome to Chicago. I'm not, again, sure if he'll actually play or not, but he's a 72 overall. Yes, everybody here is going to be brought back. I don't know why they wouldn't be. Derrick Rose is hitting restricted free agency. Already has 15 offers. We're obviously not letting our MVP go anywhere. The Timberwolves are making a play at him, but No, we're just got some max right there. Just going to pay this man his money, and he's brought back. All right, I don't like, running things back exactly the same year over year. You guys are all probably very much aware of that. So I'll make one trade. It's not going to be anything crazy. We're making a trade here with the Charlotte Bobcats. We are sending out C.J. Watson, Aaron Baines, and a 2013 first-round pick via the Bobcats. And in return, we are getting DJ Augustine in there first in 2015. So, yeah, is this a necessary trade? No. But DJ Augustine's 4 years younger than Watson. He's an overall higher and may actually be even higher by the time we start year 3. So, yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's a little upgrade, but, again, don't love running things back. So, I'll just see you guys at the start of the third and final season. We're looking to make it a three-peat in today's video. I think it is entirely possible. This team is unbelievably talented. We have solidified the depth with this group, and now we are not only experienced, but we're obviously already a champion. So I don't really have many concerns right now. Let's just go do this thing. Derrick Rose, DeMar DeRozan, Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, Joakim Noah, OJ Mayo, DJ Augustine, Ronnie Brewer, Taj Gibson, Zaza Pachulia. See you guys at the end of the final regular season. We've already won back-to-back championships, and we've now won back-to-back MVPs. Derrick Rose gets it done, his second career MVP at the age of 24. Just an absolutely insane season. Now, we didn't set any records this year, but we did go 72-10, so another unbelievable year for us here in Chicago, and we are definitely looking to make it a three-peat here as we wrap this one up. Anthony Davis went #1 overall to Houston. He's your Rookie of the Year. Baron Davis is your 6th Man of the Year. You got Timmy D winning DPOYs at age 36. Insane. Darrell Hughes wins Most Improved, and Thibs, 3rd straight Coach of the Year. Again, we're very much going to be in the mix here for another championship. So we pretty much just run the East. Oklahoma City won 68 games. They weren't even the best team in the league, which is, very hard to believe in ordinary season. Probably are pretty easily. DeMar DeRozan's developing quite nicely as our second option. You got Luol Deng, Boozer, Mayo, Augustine, Noah, Gibson, Brewer, and then Pachulia. Led in boards by Noah, led in assist by Rose. It is us, the Milwaukee Bucks, here in round 1. Brandon Jennings, Jeremy Lin, okay. Sheldon Williams, Kenneth Farid, you got Andrew Bogut, Shannon Brown. This is obviously pre-Giannis, as he was drafted in 2013. And we do drop game 1. I've noticed that we've done that a few times, I think, in the first round. Okay, we finally lose another game. I think that's actually the first time a series has gone to 6. Moving on to Orlando here. Jameer Nelson, Vince Carter. You got Michael Petrus in here. I'm not sure who Jacob Stockton is. You got Dwight Howard, Marcin Gortat, J.J. Redick. Pretty good depth there over in Orlando. But again, I think we're just better. Up 3-0, winning 4. Okay, it is the Miami Heat. We have faced them every single year so far of this video. We have beat them every single year so far of this video. I don't want that to change right now. So we could take a quick 2-0 lead. They do win game 3. We win game 4. We win the series in 5. And it is the Warriors. Did I just see the Thunder blow a 3-1 lead? Okay. Steph Curry's up to a 96 overall. You got Monte Ellis here, Matt Barnes, Chuck Hayes, JaVale McGee. This team isn't quite what they eventually, became in the mid-2010s to obviously kick off their dynasty, but Steph Curry's still really good, even if he is, very, very young. So, battle of 2 really, really talented point guards. I don't really have many other words to say, man. We're just too good, and we've been too good this entire video. So, we're going to wrap this one up. I mean, 3 straight championships. Wasn't obviously the most challenging video out there, but again, it's what the people asked for. It's what the people get. So if anybody has any bad teams from this era that you really want to see, let me know in the comment section. I'm always open to a challenge or something like that. So this will do it for me, man. I had a lot of fun with this one, even if it was a little bit of a shorter and easier rebuild. You obviously got to get through all of them. And again, this is what the people wanted, so it's what they got. All right, well, that'll do it for me. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.